You ought to straighten out your press, because you know what? A country can never be great with a dishonest press.
We traveled all the way to Wisconsin.
You were found to be stealing in another country.
I don't think this conversation is going anywhere. With respect,
Mom.
you invited me on false pretenses.
I did not invite
you did.
We're just getting started.
No.
I want you to have your say.
I don't need eNCA to have a say.
You can run to America and you can run back to South Africa, but you cannot outrun the truth. Mel Viljoen just went on a national television expecting a PR fluff piece, and the second the journalist actually did her job and asked the hard questions, Mel stormed out. Let us talk about accountability, playing the victims, and the questions the Viljoens are still refusing to answer. Welcome back to Rules and Rulers. If you have been following the absolute chaos surrounding Mel and Peet Viljoen, you know that Mel was recently deported back to South Africa after sitting in a US ICE detention center. Since she landed, she's been on what looks like a massive sympathy tour. She sat down with Chakaranda FM and Goeiemorgen Good Morning, spinning a narrative where she is the ultimate victim. She blamed US police, claiming her bank card just declined, and begged South Africans not to judge them too harshly. She wanted the entire country to forget that the alleged $5,300 barcode-switching scam at Florida Publix. And more importantly, she wanted us to forget the massive fraud and racketeering allegations waiting for them right here at home.
It's derailed my entire life.
I feel like I'm about to lose everything that I've invested.
It was the worst experience of my life.
Local Tammy Taylor franchisees had lost millions when stock was withheld, refunds were withheld, and their stores were simply confiscated and resold. But Mel Viljoen was unapologetic.
We're going to keep selling franchises. We're going to keep taking over stores if people don't pay their fees. That is just the way business is.
But her PR tour hit a brick wall this week. Mel sat down for an interview with eNCA Silindelo Sebata. Clearly, Mel expected to be codded. She expected to be treated like a baby and be harshed down. She expected leniency. She expected the interviewer to just nod along, validate her feelings, and paint her as a misunderstood victim. Instead, Sebata did exactly what a journalist should do. She pressed Mel to the facts. She asked her about the shoplifting charges. She asked the relevant questions that the South Africans actually want. And how did Mel respond? She completely lost her cool. She stood up, accused the journalist of being nasty and abusive, and literally stormed off the set. She said, I don't need eNCA to have a say. Let's get one thing straight. Asking someone to account for their action is not abuse, it's accountability. You cannot flee to the United States, openly trash South Africa online, allegedly commit crimes in a foreign country, overstay your visa, get deported, and then come back expecting a red carpet and a blank slate. South Africans aren't stupid. We see what is happening. Mel walked out because she couldn't control the narrative anymore. She outright refused to admit that they allegedly defrauded people here in South Africa, and she refused to take accountability for illegal activities that got her thrown into an ICE facility in the first place. When you have active cases with the National Prosecuting Authority, you don't get to act offended when the media ask you about it.
Mrs. Viljoen, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for joining us here at eNCA.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Let's talk about certainly a very dramatic return from the United States. Some would say you overstayed your welcome. What exactly can you tell us about what happened there?
Oh, wow. Where do I begin? We wanted to expand our business, you know, the franchising of nails into the US. And we also wanted to develop our own products in the US so that we can expand from the US back into South Africa. Everybody knows we had some drama with the Tammy Taylors, and that she had some false accusations on social media about her identity and her trademark, where in the end it was basically just a trademark issue towards the end, because we approached her many years ago and she gave us the go-ahead to use the trademark, but she never said we could do franchising. Franchising was our business. It was our idea, it was our model. And so everybody knows about that. So we were hoping to, kind of restart the franchising industry with Cuchillo Nails in Los Angeles. We went to see the guy, and that was the plan ultimately. And also Peet wrote the bar exam. He did very, very well. He was going to practice as a lawyer. He got some great referrals from South African judges, South African lawyers that we gave to the bar for his moral character application. So we were very, very excited for him to practice law and for us to now, expand on this new Cuchillo nail product and nail school, from the US back into South Africa, and just to leave the Tammy Taylor behind.
Hi, I'm Peet Viljoen.
Peet Viljoen is a disbarred lawyer who was struck off the roll by the Pretoria High Court in 2011.
So when you say leave it behind, do you mean leave behind this particular scam to start a new one? Because that's what it was labeled here when you left, that you scammed people of millions of rands to go and start a new scam in the United States, or were you really trying to run away and flee from prosecution here in South Africa?
We don't have any cases against us in South Africa, so I don't know where people are getting the idea that we were running from certain things. I mean, as a good journalist, I encourage you to really dig deep and go and find those scams and those.
I've actually spoken to a few.
No, I mean,
a few of the individuals in South Africa who worked with you, who say that they invested in starting these franchises.
Yeah.
Some have literally had their lives ruined. They cannot.
Could you give me a name?
I have a few. I have many. We've got Happy Melane. We've got a Miss Melanie as well. Santuri. She actually opened a case in Garsfontein.
That was 11 years ago.
11 years ago, but still, right? It still exists. This person is still awaiting to hear what exactly it is law enforcement is going to do now that you're back.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, you weren't exactly forced, or you didn't come back to South Africa willingly, right? You were made to come.
Let me go back onto your question on Santuri, for example. These cases are very complex cases, and I really would encourage you to not just generalize and say, yeah, Mel, you've scammed these people, and really do your due diligence.
I've done my due diligence.
Excuse me, can I finish?
Yes, you can.
To do a due diligence properly and see that there were contracts in place. Santuri, for example, we had found her location, and her with Leah Abramji, they declined many locations that we found for them. So that's why I'm saying you cannot just generalize and say, listen, Mel, these people feel like a type of way. And I encourage them, they must go to the police and they must open their cases, because we have never ever lost a case in court where someone tried to bring an application like that. It is not a criminal matter, it's a civil matter, it's a business. No one got scammed and no one got robbed. We delivered exactly what we promised we would on contract, and if they are in breach of contract, which they definitely are, they should pursue the matter in court, 100%.
Okay,
I wanted to tell you, you invited me here to talk about ICE, and this is becoming a very
no, I'm getting there. I'm getting
topic, there. It's not what you told me, so I feel scammed by
I'm getting there.
No. You said I must come here and talk about my experience.
I'm getting there, Mrs.
And now
Viljoen.
you're saying that you've done, you generalize. I don't like to throw blankets on people and say, Mel has done this. If you can't really sit and get all the documents together and show me step by step where I was unfair with people, then I don't want to talk about it.
So right now you're saying you don't want to talk about the Tammy Taylor scam.
Is that what you're saying? If you are not going to give me the opportunity to step by step review each and every allegation, with in detail, then it's not fair to throw me with something where you feel I was treating people unfairly, but you don't have the evidence.
It's not what I'm saying. It's the evidence that was brought to me in terms of these agreements that you had with people where they felt and have opened cases that they were scammed. That is what I'm bringing to you.
It's a beautiful word for media to use. It gets a lot of eyes on your screens. I do get that. But to this day, I have not been convicted of any crimes. My husband have not been convicted of any crimes. And I spoke to a lot of lawyers, and they said, Mal, just because someone felt like their business didn't work out doesn't make you a world criminal. And that's the issue that I have with some of the ex-franchisees is, because they couldn't manage in court, they go to the eNCA and carte blanche and everyone and says this person scammed me, and it's a beautiful story to run with because I am very famous and I was on The Real Housewives. So I could understand that it makes sense for people, but I ultimately feel if you didn't run your business properly and you feel a type of way, pursue the matter legally and stop throwing in accusations that Mel Viljoen scammed you.
Okay, so you're maintaining that you did nothing wrong with regards to the Tammy Taylor scam, and that the issue really is with the franchisees who couldn't run their businesses.
I've explained now in detail. I don't think I should repeat.
That's fine. Okay, let's talk about why you left South Africa then. Were you running?
No.
You were going to go start a new business.
As I said, we wanted to expand into the US, our business, and also Peet was going to practice as a lawyer. I've explained that in detail.
So how did that go?
It went well. Peet did very well, and he was about to become a lawyer in the United States.
Okay, so why did you get arrested?
So what happened with the arrest is that the Publix matter happened because my card started declining quite a few times actually, and I didn't know what the problem was. But I left it there. I didn't think anything of it. The card started declining, and then what happened was I would tell Peet, listen, go and pack the stuff in the car in the meantime, and I will sort out the payment. So I would ask the clerk for a slip, and he would give me the slip and I would go pay cash at a different teller. But they didn't see that part. So when the police spoke to me, they said to me, but my card declined. So my money is up. And I said, but my money is definitely not up. Didn't you see where I paid cash? And she said, cash that you got where? So I was shocked to see that even with the police, that the amount started varying. It was $1,000, then it became $5,000. I'm sure you are beautifully unaware that it became $3,000 recently. Not something that you would have done your homework on.
I've done my homework. It's actually $5,300.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. If you go on to what the judge, when Peet spoke to the immigration judge, he said it was $3,000.
All right. So we are told by U.S. authorities that it's $5,300, right? So that's what we're going to go with because you're back in South Africa because you were found to be stealing in another country.
I don't think this conversation is going anywhere. With respect,
Well,
you invited me on false pretenses.
I did not
doing. You did.
We're just getting started. I want you to have your say.
I don't need eNCA to have a say. You have been very, very nasty. You haven't given me the opportunity, and
Mal, we're literally just getting started. No, I want you to have your say. I'm not bullying you. I would really like you to have your say.
You've been a terrible person to me. I'm not taking this abuse. Okay?
Mal, I really don't want you to feel abused. Please, I'd really like you to finish this interview.
The opportunity was there for her to put the receipt on the table and explain herself, but she chose something different, and which is to walk away. I don't know what you guys think about this particular exclusive that the eNCA. Do you think she was justified considering the line of questioning, or you just think that she was indeed running away from accountability? Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Tell your friends to tell your cousin that I am on YouTube. Otherwise, I'll see you guys on my next upload. Bye.